Oh, beautiful ones, are you ready for September? I can tell you right now, September doesn't tiptoe in, it kicks the door wide open. So we begin this month with karmic returns, truth shocks, and an emotional purge that can reset your timeline completely. So if you're new here, I'm Cindi, and this is Forecast That Shifts Your Timelines, where I walk you through the astrology that isn't just happening out there in the stars, but is shaping who you are becoming. And this week, September 1st through the 7th, is a corridor of corrections. So by the end of this episode, you'll see exactly how Saturn and Mercury and Uranus, right over here, and the Pisces eclipse are weaving together to realign your path. Okay, so let's get started. So, right out of the gate, on September 1st, which is today when I release this video, Saturn is going to retrograde back into Pisces. Okay, think of Saturn as the karmic auditor. Wherever it moves, it checks the books, it tallies the lesson, and makes sure nothing is left undone. Earlier this year, Saturn had stepped out of Pisces into Aries, right? Giving us a breath of relief. Do you guys remember that? But now it's returning, okay? And it asks, what weight did you think you had laid down that still needs dissolving? It's also asking, what boundary have you avoided strengthening in your spiritual or emotional life? This, my beautiful ones, is not punishment. It's a review. Saturn in Pisces says if the foundation isn't strong, it won't hold when the tide comes in. So globally, watch for leaders and systems struggling with blurred lines, with accountability, and with integrity. Personally, ask yourself, where do I still blur the boundary between my soul's truth and the expectations of others? All right, get ready, because right after, on September 2nd, the very next day, Mercury enters Virgo and immediately collides with this square to Uranus. Okay. Mercury in Virgo wants precision, facts, and order. Uranus in Gemini says shock, rebellion, disruption. Together, they're going to bring truth bombs and nervous system jolts and sudden clarity. Okay. So you may get a phone call that changes your perspective. You may have a piece of information you weren't expecting. Maybe there's a glitch in technology that forces you to adapt, or an idea so wild that you can't ignore it. Also, if you feel jittery, this is your nervous system adjusting. Okay. Uranus accelerates frequency, and Mercury translates it into thought. So let me tell you right now, instead of resisting, I need you to breathe and let the curiosity lead. Okay. Rigidity, listen to me when I say this, rigidity will snap you. Flexibility is what you want because it will reveal the upgrade hidden in the chaos. Okay. So this is where I differ from anybody else. If you haven't seen me, I'm going to help give you a very quick somatic thing. So you, as we go through this week and we see jolts, right? We have jolts in our nervous system. Let me give you a somatic very quick. It's not hard. It's not long, but listen, I can only give you this information. It is up to you to do your work. Okay. So you can take it or not. All right. So very quick somatic, when these things happen and you're getting jolted or surprises are coming or you're feeling uneasy, even if nothing's come to you, but you kind of feel the jitteriness, I want you to place your feet flat on the floor. Okay. And then I want you to inhale slowly through your nose. right? Imagining the breath moving all the way down your spine, okay, as you're inhaling. And then I want you to exhale through your mouth with a sigh. You know how when you've, at the end of the day or whenever, and you're like, oh, like that. I want you to exhale through your mouth with a big sigh, okay? Like you're, and think of it as like you're releasing static, okay? So inhale through your nose and imagine as you're inhaling through your nose that your breath is moving all the way down your spine. And then I want you to exhale through your mouth with a big sigh, like you're just releasing the static. Okay. Now, right after you, or while you're doing this, not right after, while you're doing this, I want you to tap your collarbone lightly. You don't need to tap it hard. You may feel like you want to because of your nervous system, but you don't need to tap it hard. Just tap it lightly with your fingertips. Okay. And you just need to do it a few times. All right. And what this is doing is this is signaling your nervous system that it's safe. Okay. So breathe in, exhale, and tap your collarbone lightly. Okay. Now, feel how your body softens as you're tapping. Okay. This is important. That's how you ride Uranus shocks without short circuiting. Okay. You become the grounding wire for your own energy. We can all do this. These are things that have not been taught to us that should have been a long, long, long time ago. And it's very simple. So if that happens to you, please take a moment and do that. Okay. All right, let me say this before we start to the next section. These energies that I'm talking about, this is going to be going on all week, okay? So it's not, even though they're happening on that one day, from my understandings and my teaching, energy doesn't stop or start, okay? So there's frequencies going on. Things may, some of you may experience it earlier. Some of you may experience it a little later in the week, okay? So, um, then we're going to go to September 5th. And September 5th, on September 5th, Uranus, this is when Uranus is stationing retrograde at 1 degree, okay? So she stations at 1 degrees, and stations are loud. So when a planet stops, which that's what it means it's doing, we all feel it, right? And Uranus is disruption. Uranus is revolution. Uranus is sovereignty. Remember, Uranus's goal, if you watch my other videos, Uranus's goal is to help you discover and feel free. Okay? So, and now it begins its first retrograde, okay, in Gemini, the sign of communication, of technology, and truth telling, right? This, my beautiful ones, is a sovereignty review. Okay. Since Uranus entered Gemini in July, we've had a taste of innovation, of rebellion, and shifting narratives, right? We're seeing different perspectives. We're understanding a different way. Okay. Now, since we've had that time since July, the retrograde asks, what are you outsourcing? Is it your voice? Is it your choices? Is it your relationship with truth? And globally, this retrograde points to media, to AI, and communication platforms being held accountable. Okay, so we're going to see that. Collectively, it's the question, are we free thinkers or are we programmed repeaters? And personally, it's the same question. Am I speaking with my voice or am I echoing someone else's? Sovereignty begins inward before it becomes out, right? Outward. Okay. So this retrograde is it's going to be a 5-month review preparing you to carry your own voice with power. And finally, this week on September 7th, because we don't have enough, right? We reach the emotional release valve, the Pisces Lunar Eclipse, right? And they're right next to these nodes, the lunar nodes, right? and this is at 15 degrees. Now, this is the climax of the week. Eclipses are not gentle lunations. They are endings written in bold ink. Okay, think of it that way. Something dissolves so that the truth can surface. Your truth. Okay, now I won't go deep into the eclipse here because I've already created an entire video devoted to it. And this is where we explore its karmic weight and the soul medicine, right? If you want a full deep dive, you can go watch that next. I'll have it at the end and I'll put one up here too. So, but this eclipse is the tide pulling out, okay? What has been blurry will clear up. What has been heavy will be washed. This is where emotional closure turns into spiritual clarity. This is the shift. Okay. All right. Knowing about these energies is all great and fine, but let's bring this home, beautiful ones. So, how might this week play out depending on your sign, right? So, first, we're going to do the cardinal signs. So, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. You're sitting in the hot seat of change. Saturn and Uranus right here. Saturn and Uranus and Mars over here all activate your instinct to do something now. So expect pressure to make decisions in relationships, in career, or in family dynamics. Okay. This shift here is don't just react. You need to redirect. Okay. Your timeline changes when you choose sovereignty instead of defaulting to old patterns. All right. Now, next, we're going to do the mutable signs, and that is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Okay. You guys are the adapters, right? You're very good at this. And this week demands it. Mercury's shockwave and Pisces eclipse shake your foundations of thought and belief. So what you thought you knew may suddenly dissolve. And guess what? I want you to let it. Your gift is flexibility, so lean into that. Your timeline shifts when you allow truth to surprise you instead of fighting to keep the old script intact. All right? And last but not least, the fixed signs. So we have Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Now, you guys may feel like the ground is moving under your feet, but it's your inner tectonic plates. Think of it that way, that are shifting. Okay? Venus in Leo, Pluto in Aquarius, and Uranus in Gemini. These are demanding deep structural shifts. So you can't keep the same control strategies and expect a new life. You can't. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over. And most of y'all know that you shouldn't be doing this over and over, okay? Your timeline shifts when you surrender the false security of control and allow authentic stability to emerge. All right? Remember, these are not horoscopes. These are archetypal life timelines. Use them as a mirror, not a box. That's not what I do. Okay? All right. Now that we know what's going on this week, a little bit about what's going on this week, we can do this. We got this, right? Because the more you know, and we're prepared. All right? So let me leave you with this, beautiful ones. This week is not random. It is a corridor of correction. This is where we're going to correct things, okay? Saturn checks the karma right here. Mercury shocks the clarity. Uranus is reviewing the sovereignty. And Pisces, the Pisces eclipse, it's dissolving the overflow. It's dissolving what we don't need anymore. Some of us are carrying these burdens that we no longer need. We don't need to carry them, right? So September opens up with a call. Will you cling to false timelines that no longer serve you? Or will you let this week reset you into your truth? And if you're ready to feel the eclipse in your bones, then go watch my Pisces Lunar Eclipse video right after this one. All right. And if you want to understand how love and value shift your timelines, my Venus through the Houses series is unfolding right now. You'll want to be there. So don't miss that. I'll put that one up here too. And beautiful ones, YouTube, I want to say this because I had to do some investigating. YouTube just added a new feature called Hype. So some of you already have it, and some of you will have it soon. It's completely free and it lets you hype up the videos you love up to 3 times a week. Okay, that's free of cost. So every hype boosts the video onto YouTube's hype leaderboard, which means more people get to see it. So my videos are being seen, and it allows small channels like ours to have a chance to shine, right? So I'm saying this because some people are hyping up my videos, and they won't tell us who. That's not part of the metric, but I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you for doing that. So if you feel like this work matters, hype it up. It'll be on the where you comment, and you can scroll over. And to those, again, who've already hyped my videos, thank you so, so much. I so appreciate it. You're helping this community be seen, and I feel it deeply, and I honor that. Thank you. And remember, every Monday I release forecasts that shift timelines. So come back, because the story the universe is telling doesn't end here, and neither does yours.